Mumon's poem. A fine day under the blue sky. Are you in the state of samadhi still? Me, non-distracted? Have you started back into judging, weighing, measuring, accepting, rejecting? And most of it is based upon your self-image and how you think you're looking right now. Isn't it nuts? And he says, it's a fine day if you wake up. He said, but don't foolishly look here and there. If you still ask, what is Buddha? He said, it's like pleading your innocence while clutching stolen goods. Isn't that beautiful? Now, Bodhidharma teaches on this. Mind is Buddha. He said, everything that appears in the three realms comes from the mind. Hence, Buddhas of the past and future teach mind to mind without bothering about definitions. Some of the old Zen masters in the past have said that you produce your own heaven and hell, and absolutely you do. If you stay and cultivate the state of samadhi, if you have the determination, and the courage, because it is not an easy path. And it's not easy because you're dealing with your ego. And your ego is so conditioned that it wants the soft and easy way, or we could say it wants to roll around in the sweet grasses. But at a certain point, if you start to wake up, the sweet grasses are not sweet grasses. These are poisonous, toxic realms. See, tonight, Saturday night, about 2:30 tomorrow morning, 3 o'clock, when some of you realize that you screwed up again, see, I want you to realize, see, how good do the sweet glasses taste right then? See? And literally that's what we do. We continuously fall back into a smugness that, I know. See, the fact is, I've talked to people, I've tell them, the great Yang Wu, one of my favorite Zen masters, he says, throw open the windows, empty the room out. Throw open the windows, empty the room out. What's he talking about? Empty their head out. See? Enter into samadhi. And you cannot hold a shadow of anything there. Anything. And most of you will have things that you hold on to. Again, giving reference to the Sufi story of the swimmers and your cabbages. All of you have some cabbages. See? And you want to get rid of those cabbages. You cannot swim carrying cabbages in your arms. See? Empty the room. I love that image. See? Empty the room. See? And that's not such an easy thing to do. See? And you would think that it is. Because it's all an illusion that we play in. See? We play in this illusory world. We attach to it. See, we attach to emptiness. See? We're either complaining about the past. You will never relive the past. Don't worry about the future. You will never experience the future. You're only going to experience the state of samadhi, which is this pure awareness, which is now. You will only exist in the now. And some of you who are very skeptical of this now, I want you to watch for the next hour or so. And if you find yourself someplace other than now, run back and tell me about it, will you? See? Ain't going to happen. See? It's not going to happen. He says, you ask. That's your mind? And I answer, that's my mind. See? What you experience right now, this is your mind. Stay in a state of samadhi and you'll have no problems. Literally. But slip into the discursive mind, slip into the mind that's continuously plotting and planning, accepting and rejecting, and you will have all sorts of problems. And for the main part, you will find yourself entrapped in greed. And look at the world around you. Your world. Do you experience it? It's your world. How do you put it into order? Are you concerned about the pain and suffering? Thursday night I suggested that most of us aren't concerned about it. We really aren't. See, it's a crazy old monk talking about pain and suffering, but I don't see much. And then you go into your hysteria and your nights when you can't sleep and your fear and your anxiety. This is what Buddha taught. Life is suffering. And samsara is discouraging. I've had people here when I talk like this and say, Nyogen, you're so depressing. I don't know. That Buddhism is pretty depressing. And I point out that I'm not talking about Buddhism there. I'm talking about samsara. I'm talking about your day-to-day existence. And if you find me talking about your day-to-day existence as depressing, well, then you've got one leg up on the game. See, you know that you're living a depressing life. See, and you participate, see, in the insanity. See, even the scientist is suggesting that you in this mind, see, you are the one who brings together these perceptions. You bring them into reality. See, we forge our own reality. See, the Zen masters have talked about this 2,500 years. See, you're producing your own heaven and hell by what you attach to. See, and at a certain level, you begin to see this in such an amazingly different and clear way. You will actually, and it's to say see is very strange because it isn't the dualistic seeing of me sitting here, seeing Gyonin there. But you see it. See, and you'll watch this movement, and you'll see your rejection or your grasping, and you'll realize there is this most amazing clarity that comes. You say, wow, if I follow that, see, if I react in this way, pain and suffering follows. See, but if I can release it, see, and continue to enter into the depth of this samadhi, go deeper and deeper and deeper into the place where it is effortless. That can be done. That's the only place you'll find this salvation. Bodhidharma said, if I had no mind, how could I answer? If you had no mind, how could you ask? That which asks is your mind. I'm sorry, I'm starting to blur, so through endless kalpas without beginning. Whatever you do, whatever you are, that's your real mind, that's your real Buddha. See, again, what he's talking about, see, is that you can never leave this enlightened mind, but you can experience it as delusion. See, and it can come up in any form, in any way. And yet there is something, see, that begins to swim toward the light. I try to describe it because it's very difficult to put it into words, and certainly I don't have the gift of words that some of these wonderful teachers have had. But if you think in terms of an acorn, see, you look at an acorn, you want to study an acorn as a scientist. So what's the first thing you do if you're classically trained? You cut it in half. Okay. See? And then we're going to chop it up more and we're going to put it under a microscope. And you know the most amazing part, you're not going to find what it is that causes the acorn to grow into an oak tree. You will never, under your microscope, find that. I think it was one of the contemporaries I talked about this, the silliness of this is saying that trying to take a particle of sand, break it down into component parts, and think you're going to understand something about sunset at the beach. It's not going to happen. See, all you're going to do is lead yourself into more foolish realms of delusion.